Welcome to episode 118 of Local Runners Podcast, the podcast by runners for runners, and we're your hosts. I'm Sean Warburton.
I'm Dave Norman.
I'm Alan Parkinson.
And I'm Katie Kay.
Correct. And today we're sitting down with Martin Clark. So Martin is a runner whose transformation has been nothing short of incredible over the last couple of years. From going through a phase of avoiding exercise and a bit of smoking to become one of the region's fastest runners, recently clocking a staggering 67-minute half marathon, sub 15 5k. And he's a huge advocate of running by feel over chasing a watch. And he's here to share why raising the floor on the track is the key to smashing your road PBs, whether you want to learn about stronger is faster philosophy, or how to trade bad habits for elite performance. This is an episode you don't want to miss, so please welcome to the podcast from Bury AC, Martin Clark. Welcome, mate.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Good to have you here. So if listeners didn't know, we ask every guest that comes on to give us as much information as they can, and it helps us build the questions for the guests that we talk to. So, Martin, you're currently the winner of for the most information that's ever been provided to us. It was actually like a little running book, wasn't it? I was learning quite a lot from it. So that was really comprehensive. So the questions have really wrote themselves because we've got lots to ask you about what you sent through. And you mentioned back in your teenage days you had a emo phase. So what do you think that younger version of yourself would say if you saw you lining up for a 14:42 5k today? Would he even know what that was?
Yeah, so for those of you who aren't familiar with the emo scene of the early 2000s, essentially someone who's emo, it's a bit like a goth. So you'd see me sort of with my long sort of black fringe and black skinny jeans, and sort of the lifestyle and culture of someone who's emo. It doesn't really go hand in hand with sort of elite performance. So it was very much straightening your hair and making sure you sort of look as moody as possible. So I think if that Martin back then would see the Martin today lining up at mid Cheshire 5k about to smash himself over a 5k, I think he'd say, what has happened to you? You've sold out. You've lost the way of the emo. Look at you with your skin fade and your 2-inch shorts. There's no chance that's me in 10 years time. I think it just, running was just so far off my radar at that time. I'd just be sort of questioning myself as to why are you pushing yourself that hard. It's like there's going to be 30 people in this race that are going to beat you, and you're spending 10-15 hours a week absolutely smashing yourself just to come 30th in this race. I don't understand it whatsoever. But I guess it's the case of if that's what you're passionate about and you enjoy doing, then I could probably see some logic in it. But it's not something that emos typically transition into.
Did you keep some of it? Did you still listen to that kind of music? Does your music
So my wife, she was more of it's like rap music and hip hop and things like that. So I've sort of slowly transitioned her music taste to sort of my screamo sort of like hardcore music. So a couple of times when sort of my friends have just said to me, no, I'm not coming to that gig, I drag her along with me and sort of like pushing her into the mosh pits and stuff. But it's funny because the bands that we listened to back then, it tends to be the same sort of following that you'd see now. So these gigs that we go to are just full of sort of 30 to 40 year olds who are sort of past the prime, sort of standing at the back with a pint of Carlsberg, trying not to hurt the back in the mosh pit. So but it's the screaming and hardcore music's definitely good if you're in a bit of an angry mood and you want to sort of flash a hard one out for sure.
And in terms of moving on from that, really, what was it about a specific trip to New York that served as a bit of a wake-up call for you to knock smoking on the head? Go after a 10k?
So I probably have the most unconventional journey into running that you could possibly ever have in terms of guests that you have on this podcast. So as I said, sort of growing up, running was just so far off my radar. When I was younger, I was more into like skateboarding, football, a bit of rugby and stuff, just sort of the general team sports. And then I sort of got to my teenage years, entered into the emo phase, and then it was just, there was no running or exercise whatsoever for a large period. And then I did during that time sort of in my teenage years start smoking, and I smoked maybe up to 20 a day
Wow,
up until
really?
the age of around 26 years old. So my wife and I took a trip to New York, and then when we came back I just said it was a bit of a wake-up call that we just needed to change sort of our lifestyles and just get a bit healthier. We were walking around New York and I was just felt so lethargic, and you do a lot of walking, sightseeing and stuff, and then seeing the pictures as well, and I came back, I was like, I don't like the way I look, essentially. I was like, I'm 26, I should be full of energy in the prime of my life, like something needs to change here. So I said, well, it's a bit of a wake-up call, we need to do something about it. At the time, my wife's parents were doing the Manchester 10K, and it's obviously televised on BBC. So I remember sitting down watching that, trying to see if I could see them and stuff, and she said to me, maybe that was something good we could do next year ourselves. And I was thinking, oh no, there's no chance. Like 10K, you're joking? That's so far, I'm never going to be able to run that far. But she said, no, we're doing it, we need to sort ourselves out here. So I signed us up for the following year. And then I just remember I was like, right, I need to start training for this one. It was sort of fast approaching, and I went out for that first training run to prep myself for Manchester 10K. Got to about a mile and then just died. I was like, how am I going to run six miles? I can barely run a mile. But then obviously that gave me the motivation to think, if I'm going to do this, I need to do it properly. So then that helped the running sort of from one addiction to another, sort of helped wean off the cigarettes, and then just gradually sort of getting a bit better and stuff at running as the weeks and months passed and the race approached. So
it's good that like running filled a gap in it, I suppose, with smoking and
so I really sort of empathise anyone who has got an addiction like smoking or whatever else. Like, I think back to it now and I think you say to people, it's not hard, just like don't put a cigarette in your mouth and don't smoke it, but it's easy to say when you've not got that addiction. I just remember sitting there at the time thinking, I cannot think of a time in my life when I will be thinking to myself, I don't need a cigarette. It's so bizarre, but then when you're at the other side now, I never think about it at all. But it was just, I think the one thing that running really helped with is like when you're trying to sort of quit something, you get really sort of like unsettled and like agitated, and like I think going out and running and just sort of you sort of just go into sort of fight or flight mode, don't you? It's like all you're thinking about is, wow, my lungs are hurting, wow, my legs are hurting, and that sort of temptation to go for a cigarette just goes out the back of your head kind of thing. So
Did your wife stick to it as well then? Interesting, like you say, you both.
She smoked as well, and then we both not smoked for years now. So and she still does running and stuff. Brilliant. As well. So
good.
How did you get on in that 10K in Manchester?
So it wasn't as well as I'd like to have gone. I think around like 52 minutes in the end, and I think famously that year it was really hot. I think is it 2019, I want to say. It was a really hot year, and obviously people say don't do anything new on race day, but I was down to Sports Direct the day before. I got myself a brand new sort of Adidas like 100% polyester running top, and I thought this will be fantastic. I'll look great in this, winning for all the photos and stuff. But it was just a really really hot day, and then it was sort of myself and my wife, the parents-in-law, and then my wife's brother. And then I obviously worked up to it, and then I was like coming through, waving to the crowds, having the time of my life. And then it got to 5K, and then I just died a death. And I just remember just the blackness coming over my face, and then he just comes past, like my brother-in-law running past me to the finish line, and then he ended up beating me, and then we went for a meal and stuff afterwards, and everyone was like, I got a PB, I got this and the other, and I just was like, I can't believe you beat me, I can't believe it. I was in such good shape, I was like, no. And then that was it, then I was like, right, next year, I'm going to take this seriously, I'm going to come back, and then we're going to do it again.
And you wanted to go after sub 40, didn't you, in the 10K?
Yeah.
I take it that was partly fueled just to beat your brother-in-law.
Yeah. So then after that first year of doing the 10k and getting that 52-minute time, that's when I sort of locked in. I was like, right, 12 months here, let's do this proper. So I started looking through different training plans and stuff. I was like, right, how can I get myself down? And I just remember looking at the time, and I was like it was like training plans for the 10k and stuff, the usual ones that you find online, and it was like 3 runs a week. Are you joking me? It's like, who in the right mind is winning 3 runs a week? So up until that point, I was maybe doing like 1 or 2 runs. I was like, right, I'll do it. I'll do 3 runs a week because that's the most I'm ever doing. And then I started to get into park run. So at the time, we were living down in Chorlton. Our local park run was Stretford. It's a pretty fast course. You've probably done it. So just that regular sort of consistency. I just sort of obviously there was a bit of natural talent there to see that time come down so quickly from running like 50 minutes to then get down to sort of potentially making 40 minutes in the space of a year was purely through just sort of consistently running sort of 3 times a week, and then that sort of competitive edge of just park run, just each week just going there, just trying to beat your time over and over again, just sort of really helped to sort of push that sort of that marker up. And then I just saw that eventually before the next 10k, Manchester 10k, I managed to just break 20 minutes in the 5k, and that was like a massive achievement for me. And then as that date grew closer, I was like, it's a real possibility here that I might be able to break 40 minutes.
I mean, you're getting really, without even realising it, you're getting some easy running in a session every week, aren't you?
Exactly, and it's just that sort of competitive sense of just trying to be better than you was last week. But I don't know about all you guys, but when you first start running, it's always that need to like go out and like run a 10k PB every time you come out the door. And then my training was horrendous. It was just like I just go out the door, run as fast as I can for 5k, 10k, and then come home, and then you'd be exhausted then for a couple of days until you do it all again. But that just getting that regular sort of running and conditioning my body to get fitter. It just
did you
sort of escalated.
Get through that without any injuries as well, that first sort of year of building like that?
I think I was just really lucky. I mean, I wasn't doing anything crazy. It was just sort of getting regular mileage in, sort of each week, just sort of built up to it. And then like you get your aches and pains and your niggles and stuff, but touch wood, even to this day, like I'm not a massively injury prone person, so I think it does help that
unlike us, we spend most of the year injured.
I'll say that, and then this podcast get released, and I'll be a broken leg next week.
Well, touch wood at this point.
But it was fairly straightforward. I think it does help that I didn't do that much running as in my younger years. I sort of run with a lot of people now they've got so many miles in the legs going through the junior systems. Like it's just to get to sort of in the 30s, and they just start to break down just from the lifetime mileage. And I think because my running age is so young, I don't have that sort of accumulative sort of damage to my body over that period of time.
Yeah, we spoke about that before, haven't we? The masters runners as well, coming into the sport now and hitting really good times, just because they're coming in fresh, so they've still got this upwards trajectory, aren't you, really?
But
exactly. You're starting when you're
and the other element to it as well is the modern shoes. So, runners who've been at it for 15 years plus, they used to train and race in much more unforgiving footwear. And I think, that does shorten your running career, or certainly lead to a higher risk of injury later on.
Yeah, definitely. And everything else, fueling and all that stuff that we're all well aversed to now, aren't we?
We spoke about some of the supplements that are available now with your collagens and your proteins, and definitely helps. I want to just come in, Martin. So Sean was just asking you about that second Manchester 10k when you were trying to break 40 minutes. And I know that before you ran for Bury, you were running for Prestwich AC.
That's right,
So did you join them before that 40-minute attempt, or was it after?
It was. I'm trying to think now. I think it was. I can't remember the time. Like, it was around the same sort of time. I think I did that. No, I did that off my own back, and then then we moved to Prestwich from Charlton, and then from there I joined. I joined Prestwich. That whole training cycle was purely sort of just through my own experience and sort of that training plan that I pulled online.
Nice.
I was always, when we were in Charlton, I was like, I had no idea about running clubs or the running scene or anything like that. It was, you sort of see people investing on the parking results, like all these different running clubs, and I was like, what's that? And then that's when we moved to Prestwich and bought a house there. You sort of just Google local running clubs, and then Prestwich popped up. I was like, let's go down to Prestwich and see what it's all about. So yeah, and sort of cracked on from there.
Nice. And my other question on what we've discussed so far. So you were talking about bad habits and how you felt lethargic. Obviously, you mentioned your smoking habit. Like, was there anything else? Did you have alcohol abuse as well?
Yeah, I mean,
were there any weight issues? Were you carrying any excess weight?
Yeah. So there was all that, and that was partly why I didn't like the way that I looked in the photographs, and the wife of I've sort of pledged that we will go back to New York one day and take all those pictures and just sort of do like a before and after transformation. So it's the typical story, isn't it? It's sort of like you sort of get to your teenage years, and then as soon as you get to sort of legal drinking age, it's like you either go one or two ways. And I went down the sort of party sort of lifestyle, especially university and stuff. It's just sort of there's a lot of guys who've recently joined Bury, and they're sort of like in university and running, and then managing that sort of social lifestyle side of it as well. Like, I just couldn't do it. I was just, it'd be lucky if I got to lectures, never mind going running like books and things like that. So it was just diet was horrific. And it wasn't. You go out and you drink to excess in your uni days and stuff, but it wasn't like a regular thing where I was doing it in and out or dependent on it in any way. It was just sort of natural, unhealthy lifestyle that you fall into. I do still enjoy a drink. As you can probably tell by the Guinness every now and again. But it's just everything in moderation, isn't it? So
definitely. And I think balance is important, mate, especially in running. Yeah, you can go too far into it. You've got to have a little bit of balance, because at the end of the day, for us, it's a hobby, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not a job.
That's what I say, and it's just So I think people just take it too far sometimes, and I think they just put too much pressure on themselves as well. It's like they sacrifice so much, and it's like it's a hobby, and you have to enjoy it at the end of the day. If you're watching every single thing that you eat, not drinking a drop before. I mean, if you don't drink, that's absolutely fine. I've got no problem with that at all.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if you're just sacrificing social life, everything, a little bit of enjoyment that you have in your life, it could just go so far. And then if you don't get the results off the back of that, it can be sort of disheartening, sort of really sort of really tamper your sort of drive and motivation to keep at it. Yeah,
definitely. I think. Well, so last question for me. So, anyone listening to this who's just hit like a sub 25k or a sub 40, 10k, and once feels like they've peaked, because sometimes when you're trying to break a milestone, it can be really stubborn, can't it, and difficult to do, or where to go once you've done it. So what's the secret, do you think, for pushing past that first major plateau?
So come back to the question, I remember that's because I said that when I first broke 20 minutes, I was like, wow, that's it. How I'm never going to get any faster than that. That was always my main goal. 20 minutes, like I'm a proper runner now. Like, anything beyond that is just crazy.
Go back to the rock music.
And then you just slowly sort of move the needle, don't you? But I think a lot of it depends on what was your journey to get there. Like, some people, they'll get to 20 minutes, no problem. Especially if you're sort of fairly new to running, you can find, like I did, like if you just get consistent running mileage in each week, you'll naturally just get faster and faster. But it could be the other side of things, where if you are like a bit of an older runner, maybe that is like your lifetime goal, and you've sacrificed everything, you've put as many hours as you possibly can to reach that goal. So I think it'd be a different conversation depending on who I was speaking to about that. If it was a person who's new to the running, they found themselves getting to that landmark they were trying to get pretty quickly, I think it's just a case of saying, okay, like, you'll find that running is never a linear trajectory. It's the amount of effort you put in doesn't always equal the same results. You might find that you might get to a point where you do plateau. It's about looking and reevaluating what training you've been doing to get there, and then maybe changing things and different stimuluses. I'd say to people, especially new to the sport, it's all, as boring and as cliche as to say, like, it is all about consistency. Find yourself, get to a point where you can week in, week out hit like a certain level on mileage, and then just try and build up from there from a new runner's perspective. But if it was someone who is, as I said, a bit older, maybe that was the lifetime ambition to get to that certain point, they're already dedicating as many hours as they possibly can to that training to get to that point. It might be a case of, okay, you need to maybe reevaluate what types of different training stimulus you're doing as part of your training. Maybe it's a case of, okay, we could do a bit more cross training, look at different ways we can sort of boost that aerobic stimulus just to try and be a bit more specific about what you're trying to target, or trying to add little bits here and there, because at the end of the day we've all got other life commitments and there's only so much we can give to the sport. So I think it's just, rather than just try and do more all the time, it's about trying to be more specific and smarter with your training, to try and again push that needle. And that's exactly what I'm doing at the minute. It's just trying to reevaluate and make smart decisions in the way that I'm training, rather than just training for training's sake. So yeah.
Nice. That's my questions. Over to you, Katie, if you can keep it together and
Thank
not
you.
cough.
I know, yeah. Sorry, I'll try. Try not to have a coughing fit. So, GPS watches.
Yeah.
So, why do you believe a GPS watch can sometimes be the biggest enemy to a perfect race performance?
So this is something I've been preaching, and it's been more of a recent development, really. I mean, I've got a watch on my wrist 99% of the time.
Right.
So you're on Strava as well,
Yeah. So I'm not
So
not averse to using smartwatches, technology. I've got them all, but I think, have you ever got race photos back and you're like this?
Yeah, just constantly looking at your watch.
Yeah.
It's just
even
like,
if you think you're not doing it, you do
like,
it when you see the photos. You're always looking.
So it either goes two ways. When you put your wrist and look at your watch, it's like, I'm going too fast, or I'm going too slow, or my heart rate's too high. It's like, at that moment, then what you're going to do, you're going to panic, you're going to slow down, or you're going to speed up, and then your brain consumes so much energy all the time. You need to get to a point where you're just switching it off and you're thinking like as little as possible, like just preserving as much energy you possibly can and putting it into your legs, put it into your cardiovascular system to move you as fastly forward as you possibly can. It is GPS watches are a fantastic tool for training, monitoring your mileage, and trying to understand what certain paces feel like. But as I say, I'm a big advocate for just running to feel, and getting to understand what your race pace feels like. I'll give you an example of sort of my recent training. So for Manchester Half, which was like one of my main goals last year, I was like pushing the needle, like trying to stack as many miles as I possibly could, try and do more and more and more than I ever did before. And I think part of that is I was turning up to training sessions and I was just exhausted, and like this, if someone says to you, okay, go and do 2x7k half marathon pace, if I then go and run and try and hit the half marathon pace that I'm targeting, or think that I'm targeting, if I don't hit those paces, then I'm going to be disheartened. I think I'm not going to be able to run that on race day. So an example of that was, I maybe did that session and I ran 67 minutes in Manchester Half. During that training cycle, I got nowhere near 67-minute pace. All the training sessions I did, they were putting me more on for 69, 70 minutes.
Right.
So if I'd have turned up on that day and thought, right, I look at my watch, I'm running, I think I averaged like 3:10 a kilometre. If I'd looked down and said, I've only run 3:20 in training, if I keep this up, I'm going to blow up. But I didn't, the entire time I didn't look at my watch, because throughout that whole training cycle I said to myself, I was so dialed into exactly what this pace feels like. And then on the day, because you're tapered down, you're fresh, the adrenaline, there's people around you, you'll find for that same effort, you can run a lot faster.
So is that what you focused on in that race? You focused on perceived effort rather than...
I didn't.
Did you wear a watch?
I wore a watch, I scored on Strava for the kudos,
You went on Strava?
I scored on Strava,
But you didn't look at it once?
No. I went through 5k, lapped it, and then, but I wasn't actually looking at it at all. No. So I feel like the best races I've ever run is, I don't negative split, I just run a consistent pace throughout, and you'll find just to maintain that pace, the effort level just goes up and up and up. You're not slowing down, you're not getting quicker, but you just sort of contain and stay in that consistent pace. And I think especially like running around track has helped me to really dial that race pace in. You'll find that a lot of track runners, if you say to them, if a coach said to them, go and run me a 65-second lap, go and run me a 70-second lap, go and run me a 75-second lap, They could just do
Just
it like
do
that.
it, yeah.
Not look at the watch. They know exactly what it feels like to run a 60.
Do you feel you've tuned into your body more now? You're not obsessed with your watch. Yeah,
definitely. And I think a big part of that was the way that I've been approaching races last year in terms of just racing the race.
Right.
I was like, obviously a big part of it was I wanted to break 15 minutes last year for the 5k, but once I've done that, I was like, I'll like turn up to local races. I was like, I'm just gonna race who's on the line. Like, I'm not gonna look at my watch. And then because I was there racing, and I was enjoying it more as well, because I wasn't putting the pressure on myself, and I was like going out just racing, having such a fantastic time, and then the times just take care of themselves. So
do you ever panic that like maybe you're going too fast, or you don't know, or do you feel that you've got that control now and you?
Yeah, so I think it's a bit different with the longer distances. Like, it's more hard. I don't run one marathon in my entire sort of running journey, so I can't speak for running race effort in a marathon. I think it's very difficult to do, but the difference between running to effort in a half marathon is so much different than in a 5k. There's points in a 5k where I'll be like, I cannot keep running at this pace.
Yeah.
Especially you get to like 3k and you're like, I need to stop. I'm going to pull out. I want to pull out. But in that situation, you have to just sort of grind through it and just sort of run. If I'm going to run to the end of this, to the next turn, I'm going to keep going. Then you'll find you get to that last k and you just sort of push yourself. So the running to effort in a 5k is very different than running to effort in a half marathon.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just something that you sort of just learn and get used to. But if you're always looking at your watch and dictating your watch to dictate your pace, you might be leaving something out there on the course, and you never know how fast you can truly run. So especially the coaches down at Bury, especially in the shorter distance, if someone's running a 1500 and they're looking at the watch, so an 800, you get slapped round the head. Say, what are you looking at?
The other classic on race photos is when people are pressing the stop button on the watch. The race start line photos when everyone's doing
and the line
it's a classic,
like that,
isn't it?
So you just don't know. You want to cross the line thinking I left everything else.
Yeah, I think everybody does get a bit obsessed, don't they, with the watch. It sounds nice to do what you've done, but I don't know, it's like a bit of a comfort thing, isn't
my
it?
last couple of 5Ks, I think I told you anyway, I've switched off auto lap and I just put that time on. Yeah. For a 5K, I feel like I can do that and just run. But as the distances increase, I do become a little bit more aware of what I need to be running pace-wise.
Yeah. Especially marathon, I think. Obviously your event, Sean, and I think if you get the 5k, if you go 5 seconds too fast in the first mile of a 5k, you can probably just react and deal with it. Yeah. If you do it in a marathon, it can be game over, can't it?
Yeah, it's a long way home, isn't it?
Yeah. Interesting though. Okay, so recovery. So how do you stay honest with yourself on recovery days to ensure that you aren't accidentally racing your watch when you should be resting?
Yeah, it is something that I'm actively trying to improve myself, because in training on easy days as well, I just run to feel all the time, but then I do get back sometimes and I'm like, I'm running. Sorry, I work in kilometres, not miles, so apologies to anyone who runs in miles. So I get back, and then some days you feel good, some days you feel bad, and some days I might be running like 4:15, 4:20, and other days it might be 5 minutes a k. But it's the idea of recovery runs, if a run is ever does actually help you or aid your recovery, is you're supposed to be actively encouraging blood flow to your muscles to help aid that recovery and give you a bit of aerobic stimulus. But obviously if you're pushing yourself too hard during those runs, then you're going to turn up to the next session not being able to give your all, or put enough effort to get a stimulus where it really matters. So I've been trying to sort of gauge and be honest with myself and say, okay, if someone was to ask me how long could I maintain this pace for, in reality, if your answer is, okay, I could run this for an hour, I could run this for 2 hours, that's not recovery pace, that's too fast. It should be I think it should be a pace where you could run 5-6 hours kind of thing. You could just run for as long as you feel you could possibly run for. I've been trying a few things to try and slow myself down. Usually I put an extra layer on. Right. I get a bit hot, and then if you get uncomfortable, then you're running a bit fast. So I've been trying to actively slow myself down, but I think it's horses for courses as well. If I was running like the pros, like 100 150 miles a week.
Yeah.
They're going to be knackered, so they've got no choice but to run slow. Whereas I think someone who's running a lot less, they're going to feel a lot fresher in between the runs. So, and I think it's important as well to to not sort of run at a pace where you sort of biomechanically insufficient, inefficient, and like you're putting extra strain on muscles that you might not necessarily use. You're dragging your feet. I think that's why I enjoy sort of running my current runs. To feel it's like I get into a pace or a rhythm where I feel most efficient, but just try and keep it as easy as possible.
And do you not look at your watch on those recovery runs
No, I know what sort of distance I need to do, so then I just put it on for like a time or a distance, and then I'll just run
to feel.
Yeah, then I get back, and then obviously then I'll dive into all the stats afterwards. Yeah,
it's good, isn't it? Yeah, I like it. Okay, so why do you think so many road runners are hesitant to step onto the track for distances like 1,500 metres or 3,000 metres?
I think the track and field side of the sport doesn't really do itself justice in terms of promoting these track and field meets. They're often very, very low key, and you'll often find that you can't even find the entry forms to them sometimes. It's like they're just so far off people's radars as well. And I think I remember before I got into the world of track racing and track running, you start off in the 5k and then you sort of move upwards, not downwards. So I think it can be sort of very intimidating for a lot of people to say, okay, well, I don't know how to run a 15. I don't want to embarrass myself. And it's like, I think I've heard a few people say that there's nowhere to hide on a phone.
I say that I've never done a track race, and that's exactly what I think.
But it's I can understand it, but I can only encourage people to go and give it a go, because honestly it's helped my running performance so much, and especially from a racing standpoint. It's really good for race sharpness as well. It's because the races aren't like these mass participation sports where everyone goes at the same time. When you sign up and you put like an estimated finish time, and then they seed you into a race, so you can have a proper race with people of the same ability as you, and you can just race the people on that start line. And if you're not sure what you put down,
that's the problem, isn't it? 'Cause I wouldn't have a clue.
Just go and do a time trial, just go and run a 3k or 1,500 on a flat route around the park and get a sort of estimated time, and then just go and give it a go. And another side of it, I think, as well is I obviously didn't come from a running background, and I know for younger athletes it's a way that they progress through the sport, isn't it? They start at the shorter distances, the 8 with the 4, the 8, the 15 and the 3, and then they work their way up. So I'm 34 and I turn up to these meets and I feel like a dinosaur. So I can imagine a lot of older runners, they think they're running against sort of 15-year-olds and stuff, and it can be quite intimidating. But I love it, especially in the summer. It's there's nothing quite like it than sort of really just throwing yourself around a tracker just as fast as you can, and then just at the end like just falling over the line. Do you do the field events as well then? Not unless very desperate for me to get involved in something. There was a period where I was doing the high jump, but you have to hit a minimum distance, and I was close a couple of times, but if you don't practice in between, it's a lot of it is technique with the field events. So we're part of the Northern Track and Field League. We've just been promoted to the sort of top division in that league. So you have to try and score as many points as you can. So sometimes it's just a case of just getting the minimum amount of points on the board. So you find that everyone gets involved, just throwing a shot put or javelin or just trying to do anything to score points. So
something Bury have done really well last year was promoting a lot of their track events, track and field events. So that with when they were doing the mile in August, the Northern League, I did it there. I did the 5k there, and it was all promoted really well. So it's maybe something other clubs can try and take on board.
Definitely. We've got the mile event again this year, 22nd of August. So get it in your calendars. So it's in collaboration with the BMC as well. So there's all the usual seeded races which are open to the public. If you've never ran a mile before, just come down and give it a go. We trying to make it into like a festival atmosphere. There's like beers and stuff on the side, and you have like some really there's people running sub 4 minute routes around there last year. It's like, yeah, it's a great spectacle to watch, and yeah, I can only encourage you to come down and just give it a go.
Yeah.
I think I'm on holiday.
I was just thinking, it's mad how I love running 26.2 miles, but I'm terrified of one.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's a different kind of pain for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And you touched on there, Berry. So as Dave said before, you ran for Prestwich originally, and now you run for Berry.
Yeah.
So what made you kind of make that switch, and what's the kind of your setup at the minute at Berry?
Yeah, so I think Prestwich Aces is a really fantastic club, and yeah, I have some fantastic memories, and I'm still friends with a lot of people down at Prestwich, but I think they openly describe themselves as a drinking club with a running problem, whereas Berry is more of a running club, with we don't really do the socials too often, but it was just, as I said, when I first moved to Prestwich, it was sort of just Googled local running clubs, went down to Prestwich, and then just opened my eyes. I learned so much at Prestwich in terms of how the racing calendar works, all the different events, how it influenced my training, what I should be doing, different paces, different stimuluses, and just running around and speaking with people who'd been in the running scene for so long. It was just invaluable. And if you're not part of a running club, honestly, it's for the amount of money you pay for a membership, there's no better value for money than being part of a running club. But it got to a point at Prestwich, unfortunately, where I seen people getting involved in the road relays, cross country events, and I knew that's something I wanted to get involved with. And unfortunately, we just couldn't get the numbers at Prestwich. They're better in recent years. It's fantastic to see them down at some of the Northerns events and a lot of the cross country events now. So, but at the time, I was keen to get involved in that. Berry, next closest one to my house.
So when did you move to Berry? When was that?
It was a few years ago now. I can't remember the exact date. I think I've been there 3 years. I think now, So I think I got to around 16 minutes for the 5k. Because the Prestwich post all the club records on the website. So that was my goal, was to try and knock as many of those club records off as possible before I moved to Berry. And then I got to a point where I did begin to stagnate, and then I think moving to Berry and then getting involved with the track side of the training just sort of accelerated me to that next level. But I remember sort of when I first joined, it was a case of 400 reps, 200 meter reps. They were like, why are you doing these distances? It makes no sense to me. I was like, I'm a 5k runner, I should be running 200 meter reps. But just hitting those different stimuluses, it's just improving that sort of efficiency, power, just that sort of VO2 max work, just to try and push that speed work up. It then translates. So I'm just an advocate for raise the floor to be able to raise the ceiling. It's like you have to work at those shorter distances to improve your longer distances. So and I think sometimes you see people who just purely focus on that the longer distance events. I've seen people whose 5k PBs is pretty close to the marathon PBs. It's like you get to the point where they're running
at the same speed.
They've got so efficient at running at a certain percentage of the VO2 max, and they can just hold that pace forever. But then if they went back and then tried to improve the short side of things and improve that 5k time, I've no doubt that then when they went back to the longer distances, they found it so much easier because the pace differences just for that same effort, it'd just be so much easier to run a faster pace for a longer distance.
So do you train with Berry every week? Do you attend the
sessions?
Yes,
on a Tuesday and a Thursday, down at Berry AC. There's loads of different groups. We have from under 10s, all the age ranges, up to sort of under 20 group, and that's an endurance group, sprint group, and it's a group in the senior men's and senior women's as well. And then we also have throw field event groups as well, throw groups and things like that to practice on that. But obviously attendance fluctuates depending on the weather. You'll find that if you go down to Berry in track season in the summer, everyone's down there. So you can't get the tracks. There's so many people down there. But I try and get down there as much as possible. I think it's just because I hate thinking of my own sessions. So
Yeah.
to be able to go down there
Yeah.
and speak with the coaches and the sessions are already set, just go around them and with part of a group is just it just makes things
Yeah,
so
we always
much
say that,
easier.
don't we? Training in a group is often easier anyway. Yeah.
But yeah, there's a fantastic group down there, and yeah, the coaches are amazing. You know, they're all to spend, selflessly give up so much of your time, come rain, come shine, to be down on a Tuesday and Thursday. The least I can do is turn up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially as like one of the faster runners at the club. It's like I feel like it's I need to set a precedent of like we try and come down. And
for the club,
we're really building a momentum down at Bury at the minute as well.
I was just about to say, if you look at your road relay results over the last 3-4 years, every year you've got noticeably better.
Yeah,
best ever performances from the club, and it made me wonder actually. Have you noticed in your time at Bury that the quality of the training groups improved as well?
Yeah, definitely. I think so at the Northerns we finished 9th in the 6th stage, which was an amazing result for us. But yeah, I think it really helps having sort of a core group of runners. I mean, the women have always been miles above of the men's in terms of like the relays and stuff. They're pushing for medals and stuff, but the men's it's just so competitive and we just weren't quite there. But yeah, I feel like we've just had like a couple of good years now where we've not had people sort of like coming and going. People are sticking around because we've built like such a good core group of like mates as well. Like we're always like going out on like socials, meeting up for drinks and stuff. And then I think if you're able to retain a good core group, then it's a more of an attractive prospect for other people to come down and train with you as well. So and I think all the track events and stuff, and having that new track lane and stuff, and seeing the results off the back of that, has drawn a lot more people down, and just trying to encourage them to get involved.
Yeah.
They're getting like a sort of real get a real feel for it and sticking around. So
you see the vests everywhere, don't you, at cross country, and there's Bury vests are everywhere now. So it's good. Okay, a listener question from Mike Holness. So he said, having been so good on the roads and the track in 2025, can we expect him to translate that good form into cross country this year? We did cross country on Saturday, didn't you? So how did that go?
I don't know if I was in front of Mike on that, but maybe we'll have to go back and check the results. But
I can confirm you were, because Mike messaged me after the cross country and said you can scrap that question.
He did tell me that.
I self-confess that I'm not the best on the cross. I'm very much a rhythm runner. So I sort of find myself locking into a pace. Nice carbon trainers on. I'm very good at just switching my mind off and then just zoning into a pace and then just keeping at that pace. Where cross country, it's like you have to be just on it all the time. If you switch off for 2 seconds, it's game over. So and I think I've been working on hills and mud, and I'm not like we have some lads who like just train up in the hills, like they live up in like Rosendale or Rottenstall and things like that, and they're just day in day out just on the hills up and down, and then you sort of turn up to these cross country events, and there's guys that you compete against on the road, and you'd be nowhere near, but on the cross it's just a leveler. So
it's different kind of running. You must have had a good run though.
I mean, I did okay at the Liverpool Cross Challenge, but I've got a bit of a habit of just turning up to the ones that are nice and flat. There's one that we do as part of the Red Rose League, Miles Pitts.
Oh, that's my favourite. Dave loved that.
And I'm told that's a proper cross.
Have you never done it?
No.
It's not runnable.
I'm always busy. I'm always otherwise occupied on that weekend. But I'll have to give it a go.
You probably won't like it. You probably like it even less than Sean, I'm guessing.
It's good training,
unlikely.
Looks like a tough mudder when you see the footage of it.
It,
unbelievable.
Like 10-minute miling in a race.
But it is good just from a racing standpoint as well. If you want to, just know what it's like to, as I said, just forget about times, put no pressure on yourself, just go out and just run as hard as you can, and just races around your cross country is fantastic for that. And it's great training as well. But I need to do more of it. But I think the season's just so long now. There's the Red Rose, it starts in October, but there's still road races going on up until like the end of October, but then that carries through until the start of the year, and then if you're doing like indoor track season or you're starting to prep for like early 5Ks, it's difficult to fit it all in.
It is. Yeah. Okay, fab. Well, that's all my questions. Thank you. So I'll hand over to Dave.
Over to me. Okay, welcome, Martin. Firstly, you've already touched on this, but I just wanted to ask, how do you handle the common racing weight narrative in the running community, especially since your best PBs have come at a heavier weight?
Yeah, so I first want to sort of preface this by saying I'm not a sports nutritionist, okay? Like, this is just purely from my personal experience, and if you are struggling with nutrition and fueling, I'd just say to you, go and speak to other people about it. Go and seek someone who's professionally qualified to talk about fueling and nutrition. And I think it is something that, especially in the running landscape, is something that we need to be more open and talk about and encourage that conversation, because there are a lot of difficulties in terms of nutrition and fueling that I'm sure you all probably fully aware of, and I did fall down a similar sort of hole myself at one point. Luckily never got too bad, but I think a lot of people think that to be faster you need to be lighter, and it can lead to people actively restricting their intake to try and get down to race weight or look a certain way, and you might see small marginal improvements or sort of sometimes even a big improvement, but it's just not sustainable. You're going to break down, you're going to injure yourself. And I went through a similar thing myself where I dropped a bit of weight and then I seen some improvements in my time. So I got to a point where I thought, that's the weight I need to be running at. And then I was not like really massively restricting myself, but just saying, I can't eat that, like really. And then it just got to a point where I couldn't do it. You just break down. It's not sustainable at all. So I've completely disregarded that now. I don't look at any don't count my calories, don't do anything like that. You need to be able to sort of fuel those sessions and give your body the energy it needs to put the effort in and get those workouts done. Fueling is so important. It can lead to sort of energy deficiency in sport and things like that. It's a really serious problem, and you're just going to break down, you're going to get injured. If you want longevity in the sport, you need to make sure that you're fueling yourself properly. So at the minute, if I'm training, doing high mileage, I'm not eating like packs of biscuits, chippy tea every night kind of thing, but I'm not restricting myself. If I'm hungry, I'll have a big portion of food. It's just all about having big and fueling yourself with lots of good things, like massive bowl of pasta, massive bowl of rice, lots of fruit, lots of vegetables, just really simple stuff, but just lots of it. That's not saying you can't have biscuits, you can't have pizza, beer, whatever. It's
music to calendar.
We nearly had an issue then.
But then it's a case of I don't restrict myself throughout my training, because I'm doing high mileage, I'm putting a lot of effort in, but then maybe what I'll do is if a race is approaching, I'm starting to taper down, I will just clean things up, or maybe I won't have as many biscuits, I'll maybe reduce the portion size slightly, but then I just find I let my body go and find its natural race weight. And now all my PBs last year, I was maybe 2-3 kgs heavier than I was at that point, and there's so many factors that go into how much you weigh on those scales. It could be muscle mass, you could develop, it's not a metric you need to be looking at.
I think you said the same last year, didn't you, Sean?
Yeah, last year's a bad example.
I was going to say he was injured most of last year.
I'm sure you ran some PBs and you said you were actually...
that was the year before.
You gained a little bit,
Yeah, I put weight on, and it was a Berlin build-up.
Yeah.
And I actively ate more, because I think I was 57 kilo when I ran Chicago, and I think I was about 59 for Berlin and ran quite a bit quicker. Obviously I was more experienced runner, but it definitely helped absorb the training that I did at that time. So it is. I agree with you though, man. It's a balance, isn't it? It's
sure,
you put quality in, you get quality out, and it's just having the right balance, really.
There are some good advocates as well. If you look in social media space as well, I think there's Jake Smith as well is a really good example of it, and he went through it massively, and he's on a massive comeback now. And if you look at the pictures of him before his energy deficiency syndrome, now he's like a lot bigger, but it's just strength. He's just running.
Yeah.
He looks like a different person.
Yeah.
He posted, I think it was this morning, is that picture side by side,
Yeah.
and he was so thin before.
At the time when I saw him, though, I didn't think anything of it. I thought he's just a runner.
Yeah.
But now when you look back, you think, bloody hell,
Yeah, it's a massive difference, isn't it?
Yeah, and it can happen even if you're not actively trying to restrict your calories as well. It's like you could be, in energy deficiency and not even realise it. It's just, you just need to make sure you're putting enough fuel in to fuel the fire.
You need
like,
to eat a
eat
lot,
more than you think.
You think if you're running.
Yeah, I think
So what I've noticed as well, because they've put a few pounds on over the festive period. But my weight changes quite a lot on a daily basis. So I could be like £2 different one day to the next day. There's no real explanation, and then it goes back the other way the next day. So it just shows you really you're putting a lot of effort in to try and control something which is not really that controllable.
No, there's a lot of variables, even say water retention.
Yeah, exactly. There's
all sorts of just different things, isn't there, that make a difference.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to my next question. So, do you plan your own training, or do you use a coach or your own research? So, I know there's a few coaches down at Bury.
Yeah.
Are you coached by one of those guys, or are you doing your own thing?
So, I've been completely self-coached up until this point. I feel like I've got a naturally inquisitive mind, as I like to understand the science of the sport and why certain race like training stimuluses improve in different ways. So I've been sort of winging it for the past year.
You've done a very good job of winging it.
Yeah. But it is based on I do listen to like a lot of podcasts, like sports physiology podcasts. I do have training books and things like that which talk about the different reasons as to why you do different types of runs. But you sort of learn to understand how to put together and structure a basic training plan. There are coaches down at Bury. As I said, they do set sessions for us down on Tuesday and Thursday, and they're fantastic. If I've got a question, I'm not sure, feeling lethargic, I'm not sure what's going on, they're always there to lend an ear or give you some advice or think about different ways which you can sort of improve any goals that you're looking towards. But I think my approach over the last particularly the last 2 years when I've seen the most improvement, it's just been stacking more and more and more. So I've been doing like a lot of cross training, putting the mileage up, doing a lot of threshold running. But I'm getting to a point now, especially this year when I'm looking to sort of move the needle even more. I'm sort of at my limit in terms of my work balance and the amount of time I can physically put into training. So I can't just keep stacking and doing more and more and more because I physically don't have the time. And I'm at the point now where I'm managing it well, but I think if I go too far, I'm going to start breaking down. So it is something that I'm considering this year, is to look into getting some advice for someone who actually knows what they're talking about and not just winging it, to try and be a bit more sensible and specific. And I've got X amount of hours per week. How can we utilise that time as efficiently as possible to reach whatever the goals are for 2026? It's something that I can't. Like I understand the basics of different types of training stimulus like tempo, threshold, VO2 max, like sprint works, but it's putting that together in a block to be able to peak at a right time for a race is something that I really struggle with. So if anyone's out there listening, they want a climb for 2026, they
project.
All my training's on Strava, just follow me on there. And if you think that you can take me to the next level, then I'm all ears.
Have you ever had a lab test done on your physiology?
So for Father Christmas this year got me a sports exercise test for Christmas. So
there you go then.
I'll be going down there.
Because like what you've just described there, I mean, you can have like two runners who run the same times, but what they need is different because of their physiology. So that might help you.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah.
I did used to do like cardiopulmonary exercise testing in my previous job, but that was more as like a preoperative assessment for patients who are going into like major surgery. So it was basically if they performed poorly at this exercise testing, the risk of having complications in surgery was like massively increased. So they had to get to a certain level. So I was understanding like the different levels of like lactic basic threshold and like maximum heart rate, and then as part of that I jumped on the bike a few times and like got my own metrics, and but I've never done it on a treadmill, so Father Christmas very thoughtfully got me an exercise testing down in Manchester City Centre. So hopefully I'll go down. They basically give you like your different training thresholds. Hopefully I'll be able to use that for some training.
Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's stats that you can keep forever, because it just basically that threshold doesn't change based on your heart rate. So
you're prepared for blood to be flying everywhere.
Looked like a massacre after David finished running.
It's Dave's arm swing doesn't help. Dave's arm swing is quite big, so he's just throwing blood all over the room. It's like
cleanest room with
it's like Nightmare on Elm Street, wasn't it?
Right, this is a good question. Why do you think runners are often more willing to spend hundreds on recovery gadgets than focus on the simple basics like sleep and blackout blinds?
This one, don't get me started. I think everyone just wants a quick fix, don't they? Like, the idea of being able to recover by being sat on your couch, you've got your compression boots on, you're watching Bargain on the TV, you're not having to do anything. Your brain just automatically wants the path of least resistance, doesn't it? So you can just sit on the couch, spend a couple of quid on some recovery boots, or get, a sports massage gun and just drill your legs and be like, I'm going to be able to knock out a session here tomorrow because I've got all these gadgets. But the two things that I've actively shown to make the biggest difference in your recovery and ability to bounce back are sleep and nutrition. If you've not got those two things nailed down to a T, then all these extra 1%, you're just leaving so much on the table. So I'm very fortunate in the sense that I've been working a 9-to-5 job. I don't have kids currently, so I'm able to get good quality of sleep every single night. But I think if you just try and actively work on the amount of sleep that you're getting, so that could be through basic things, as you said, spending that money instead of on the compression boot, get yourself a good quality mattress, a good quality pillow, duvet, blackout blinds if you're travelling for work, face mask, earplugs. I've also got like a little alarm clock as well, and what it does is you set a specific time in the morning and it naturally wakes you up with light in the morning, which is really good this time of year, especially when it's so dark outside. It's like I find in the winter, if I don't have that, when the alarm goes off, I'm in such a deep sleep and it takes me so long to properly wake up. But I mean, if you really did like an audit on your own sort of like sleep health, there's definitely things that we can all improve, whether that's less screen time in the lead up to going to bed, making sure you've eaten properly before a right time before to bed, not eating right before you go to bed so you feel full and lethargic. What's things like caffeine. It's just trying to do as much as you possibly can.
The simple things,
because that sleep is the most important thing to your recovery. And I think I've really I've nailed that of like, go to bed at 10 p.m. every single night, get up at 6 a.m. in the morning every single morning. And like, I used to go to uni with a guy, still mates with him now, but he swore that he never set an alarm clock, and he still doesn't to this day, because he's so dialed into just waking up at the same time every day. It's like that natural sort of circadian rhythm of this is my sleep wake cycle. My body's so in tune to it, it's just automatically. And you'll find that if you do get into that rhythm, I get to like 9 o'clock and then I start for you, because it's just my body's so used to the same routine day in and day out. And obviously the other part of that is the fueling and recovery. It's like there's a big emphasis on me and fueling before, during and after training, just to accelerate that recovery process and just get as much fueling as I can to be able to bounce back to the next session as quickly as possible. So
do you not use any of those recovery tools in terms of like boots, massage guns, sauna?
I've got a massage gun. I got that as a Christmas present a few years back. I sometimes use it if I've got a bit of a niggle and stuff. But I mean, I do question myself sometimes if I've got a bit of a niggly Achilles, like how much is me drilling it with this massage actually going to help it? Other than it might stimulate a bit of blood flow to it. But sometimes I'd use that, but other than that, I don't use anything like that, no.
I love my recovery boots.
Hopefully you're not sponsored by any recovery boot companies. That's just my perspective.
You're not supposed to be spending more time in them than running, though. You're gonna get
I've got to say, I massively agree with the sleep though, because I find that I'm going to bed at like 10:30 and then I'm waking up round about 7. But then sometimes if I try and sleep in a little bit, I start to get more tired through the day.
Yeah.
And having that consistency of waking up.
Yeah.
But the new Garmin's have a smart wake feature as well. So you can set a time for like 7 o'clock, but what it'll do is it'll gradually wake you up from 6:30 up till 7. So it'll just wake you up at some point during that half an hour. That's disabled for mine because I want the extra half an hour. But
if you keep your Garmin watch on while you're sleeping, they can actually tell you how many hours you've slept for as well.
Yeah. And I
if
always
you were
find
in
that
deep sleep or a light sleep.
So I look at my HRV quite a lot as well because that tracks that majority through the night.
Yeah.
And if mine's well out, I can tell. Like mine's out at the moment, and I'm struggling with my legs, and I think it is due to not recovering well enough.
There you go.
Yeah.
And how would you say a strict, consistent sleep routine makes it easier for you to stack high mileage weeks without burning out?
Yeah, I think it is just that sort of routine of being able to have improved recovery enables me to sort of get out there and bounce back a lot quicker to the next session. It's sometimes my life is so mundane in terms of the routine that I get myself in, but it is just that consistency. I get to a point now where I'm just like, I don't even think about going for a run because I hate having it hanging over the top of my head. So it's like, that routine of like, I get up at this time, I eat at this time, I go for a run at this time, and then in the evening maybe I go for another run at this time, and then do my gym, and then you just sort of have a sort of like template of like how my week works out, and then just the least I have to think about it, the better. And I think your body naturally becomes accustomed to like expecting to exercise at a certain time. I don't know about you guys, but if you're forced to do like sessions in the morning, if you're not used to doing it, it feels so much harder than like going out and doing it in the evening. But then I find if I routinely start doing sessions in the morning over a certain period, it becomes easier. It's like just sort of giving your body those stimuluses like over and over and over and over and over again. You just naturally become sort of like accustomed, and you just, things feel a lot easier. But I think just ensuring that I'm really driving down and nailing that consistent sleep has been such a massive factor. So I've got to a point now where my body's able to bounce back quite quickly and tolerate some of the high mileage because I've dialed that in so much, and I think that has really helped me sort of push on in 2025. Hopefully I continue doing that into 2026. But sometimes it can be a bit boring when I'm out with my friends having a drink, and then it gets to 10 p.m. I start falling asleep. So
right, that's all the questions I've got in front of me, Martin. One last thing I wanted to ask you, which isn't on this list. I noticed that you run Heaton Park Run more or less every single Saturday, and you always seem to run well within yourself, but a decent time. 17 minutes ish. So what's the thinking there? Is do you ever go for it there, or is there a thinking about running to that sort of effort on a Saturday morning?
So I have my routine of doing like sessions on a Tuesday and Thursday, and a long one on a Sunday, and then to do an extra session on a Saturday as well. Sometimes it's a bit overkill. Heaton Park is literally like a 10-minute jog from my front door, so I'm down there purely because it's just good to go down and get you running out of the way with other people on a Saturday, and it's a good social side of it. And my wife enjoys doing it as well. Sometimes we take the dog, but sometimes you do get carried away. But we joke saying it's the home of champions because there's so many Berry athletes down there all the time, and I think we're well up on the sort of unofficial leaderboards of like most first finishers at Heaton Park. But I think it's
very much a case of running to feel for you.
But if there are sometimes I do go for, I think I've run like 15 and a half round there. I think that if I I took it properly, like seriously, and like, you know, had a rest day before and went into it. I could probably improve on that slightly, but yeah, sometimes you get carried away if, you know, some fast lads turn up and you give it a good run out. But I think it's such a good course, Heaton Park. I think it's just a good mix. I sometimes use it as a bit of a gauge. It's like, I reckon it's about 20 seconds or so, sort of slower than a flat 5k course. So it's got that sort of hill between sort of like 2 and 3k. So I think if you can run around there within like 20 seconds of your goal time, I think, yeah, if you then translate to a flat 5k, it's a good gauge of being able to run a good time. But yeah, it's something I enjoy doing on a Saturday morning. I mean, I do get a lot of stick for it as well, being down there every Saturday morning, and yeah, I need to make sure I volunteer every now and again to keep in the good book till I get told off. But
out of Heaton Park though, don't
yeah.
They're massive, aren't they?
Yeah, so I think the first one in January, there was like 1,100 people down there, and that was the day that I decided to do barcode scanning. So, but yeah, luckily I ran it, and then I was like hiving straight on, and it was like -2 or something like that. So I was like in my shorts, shaking, like scaring out my barcodes. But yeah. No, I do need to. I'm training at the moment for a 5k. So yeah, maybe if someone wants to give me a shout and you want to come down and give me a good run out at Heaton Park, then yeah, send me a message, and yeah, we'll organise something to have a good run out down there.
I think Salford have sent a few in recent weeks, but it's probably been on a week where you've...
Yeah, it's always the case, yeah. It's like every time I'm down there, there's none of the fast lads turning up, and then, well, sometimes they do turn up and I skulk away, but yeah. But yeah, I'll give it a go, when I'm hopefully got someone there to run with, so yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, right, that is all my questions, so over to Callum now.
Cheers, Dave. So, in our last episode last year, we spoke a lot about Room 101. So I think you've taken some stuff from there. So we're going to mute Sean at the moment. So with the rise of extreme social media challenges, do you think the influencer side of running is helping or hurting the accessibility of the sport?
It's a difficult one because, there is so much good positive things in the running scape from a social media standpoint, but I think people doing things purely for the clout, it takes away from some of the other things that are genuinely impressive in the running scene. I think it got to a point where it was like people were just running more and more, further and further, all these like ridiculous challenges that you see, and it's got to a point now where people have become desensitized to these mad challenges, and they're just thinking like, what can we do that's more extreme to get more engagement, to get more likes on social media? And it's got to a point now where, people are like, I'm going to run the length of Britain, I'm going to do 6 marathons in 6 days or whatever it is, to now, I'm going to run circles in a bathtub and do a 5k in a bath on top of a fridge. And it's like, why? How have we got to this point? It's crazy. It's like, but then you say to someone, oh, did you watch Valencia 10k at the weekend? I'm going to be booked European record. What time? What time is it? Oh, it was like 26 minutes something. And they'd be like, oh, is that good?
Is that good? Yeah.
What? Like, how can you be so far from like what is genuinely impressive and what is just like on social media just
garbage?
Yeah. So I think I sometimes do wind myself up looking at these things. I think I just need to just dissociate myself from it and just stop the doom scrolling at times and just focus on the positive side of things of social media. But I don't know where it's going to go from here, to be honest with you, Dave, because it can't get any more ridiculous at the minute. So
I saw that when he stood on a fridge, weren't he? He was literally crouched down on a fridge and he said, I'm going to run a 5k on a fridge.
Oh really?
Yeah, he actually did it.
No, he was just spinning around in circles for
and it's just ridiculous.
Why?
I saw that.
Exactly. But then it was the same
guy
guy
did a 5k in a Portaloo.
Yeah. And then in the bathtub as well.
Yeah,
in a bathtub.
Yeah. It is just stupid. It's just...
That's not exercise.
It's not officially measured, is it, by...
It's not running that, is it?
It's got his GPS on inside, so I don't even know if it's measuring it. So.
I mean, it can't measure a 5k outside, can it? So
No,
it's not going to
it's
measure
not running that, is it? What is it?
It's been discovered on the
Waddling on a fridge.
How weird.
So another thing that we spoke about was AI coaching. So what should a runner look for to make sure that they're getting a genuine expertise rather than a generic AI training plan in your eyes?
Yeah, so it's something that is unfortunately quite prevalent in the running scene is self-proclaimed running coaches. I could go on Instagram now, post my PBs and say, send me a DM.
Everyone's a running coach.
Yeah,
we said that. Yeah.
No qualifications. It's not regulated. How can I? It's not a protected title, unfortunately. But if you are going to these people, you need to be able to trust them. It's very easy for me to say, I'm running X amount of miles a week. This is my goal. This is where I am. You go into, Copilot, ChatGPT, whatever it is, and it'll give you a training plan.
Yeah, exactly.
I could then charge you £60 and go, there you go, there's your training plan. Off you go. And it is just so sad because people are falling into these traps, and it's just a cash making scheme for some people. So there are coaches out there who know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
They've been through the accreditation within athletics. I think a good place to start if you are looking for a running coach is to reach out to people. If they're willing to take the time to sit down with you and go through a tailored training plan, look at your training, speak to you, then that gives you a good indication that, okay, down the line when you need a bit of one-to-one interaction, you need some feedback on your training, they're actually going to spend the time to go through that with you. Where someone who's just going to send you off a training plan, they'll be like, there's no feedback loop, there's no adaptation to, this is happening in my life, can we change this? Like, you need someone who actually knows what they're talking about, is accredited to go through and give you the level of coaching that you require. Everyone's got different abilities, everyone's got different needs to be able to adapt and change that. It's something that they go through with these accreditation courses. And then you want someone with some credibility. It's like just do your research. If you just speak to people through word of mouth is a really good way as well. If you know someone who's had really good positive feedback through from a coach, then it's a good place to start. But just don't go onto Instagram and see these self-proclaimed running coaches who give you all these amazing results and just send them your money instantly, because it's just going to be garbage that they give you, and it's not.
We did say, didn't we, recently? It's been such a rise. Everybody who runs these days seems to be a running coach.
Yeah, it's sad, unfortunately, but there are really good coaches out there. It's just filtering through the rubbish to find the ones who truly know the stuff.
Have you seen that Instagram account, the Marathon Integrity Unit?
That is fantastic.
That is a great page to follow, and they call out quite a lot of these coaches. And the reason they're calling them out, a lot of them, is because they're fabricating their own times. So if they're fabricating their own times, what else?
And they do a really good post. So they're like, it's like a detective file, isn't it? And it's saying like, we found this, but it's all like, it sounds like really official.
They're very professional as well.
Yeah, I think it's great.
We need one for every distance.
So if you could replace cliched rules like the 10% rule with one bit of practical advice for a beginner, what would it be?
I'd say forget all the niche specific training talk that you often get roped in very quickly when you first start. That people are like, you need to be doing tempo, threshold, VO2 max. So if you're brand new, just get out and run. Don't worry about times, don't worry about hitting specific sessions, just run and get consistent at running and enjoy it. It's like you can get so that far down a rabbit hole so quickly that the enjoyment can get sucked out of it from day one. I think those are the things that I enjoyed most when I first started running, is going out and just seeing, you can just naturally get better. As you run in, like your body you develop that musculoskeletal system, you improve your sort of aerobic capacity, and like you just automatically see results. You don't need to start jumping in to do all these sessions and stuff. Just get in consistent weekly mileage and you'll see yourself improve, and just get to a point where your body can handle the load that running puts it under. I remember when I first started, I was just aching for days after the first runs that I was doing. Then if you can go down and do like park runs and stuff, it's a really good way to sort of track that improvement of just going down and just trying to beat yourself from the previous week. And then when you do get to a point where you feel like you could use a bit of help to get to that next level, you feel like, okay, we need to change things, I need to develop different stimuluses to improve my times, then that's when you look at reaching out to a coach or looking at changing the way you're training. But when you first start, don't worry about it, just get out and run and enjoy it. It doesn't have to be complicated.
So we've got a listener question now from James Brown.
I love that name. I mean, the joke's too obvious. I'm not going to do it. But it's just so good.
So, how much of your success in 25 do you attribute to your Ron Hill club vest?
So yeah, I don't know if you're aware. So there's like a running vest that you can get from the likes of like Saw, who do like premium racing singlets. But unfortunately, we couldn't quite get the numbers to be able to get a minimum ordering for the Saw vest, and they're really expensive. But we found that Ron Hill do something that's equivalent, that's a bit cheaper, and you can get sort of a lesser order quantity. And so it became a bit of a meme, because I was trying to go around the WhatsApp groups trying to get the numbers in to get an ordering of these, and I was like wearing the old berry vest, it's like wearing chainmail, it's that heavy. I was like, if you get yourself one of these Ron Hill vests, you're guaranteed a 10-second PB just by putting the vests on. And then it was around the time I was breaking 15 minutes, so then I was like, it's all because of the Ron Hill vest. Guaranteed 5-second PB. But yeah, it's become a bit of a meme in itself at this point on the berry AC.
You must have it though, where you have a really good run and you're wearing certain shorts or certain socks or something, and then next race you think, right, got to dig them out.
You can't wear for cross country though, because they're saying it's like you have to wear your dirty one for cross country, because it's like taking a Lamborghini off road. Like, you have to save it for a race day.
So he also asks, what will you place as the biggest focus in 2026? So is it a bigger mileage, more focused on sessions?
Yeah, so I think, as I said, I'm getting to a point now where I can't stack anymore. I mean, I probably could, but I don't have the motivation to then, to be out more than twice a day doing training and things like that. So I think I'm going to continue to work on that speed. I still have unfinished business in the 5k, and then I'm hopefully going to be able to translate into the 10k, because I think currently that's one of my weakest PBs, and it's the one I'm hopefully going to try and address this year. But as I said, I need to try and continue to raise that floor. So I'm going to try my hand at some 1500s I think this year, and 3k. So if I can get sort of towards that 4-minute mark, or like 8.5 minutes in the 3,000 meters, then hopefully then that will help translate as I then move up to the distances. But it's going to have to be, as I said, hopefully getting some guidance from a coach as to how I can get the most out of those sessions to help improve that speed. But I think I'm going to try and focus more on quality than quantity this year. So hopefully that will see results in 2026.
Cool.
I think any plans for a marathon? Sorry. Ask about marathon.
So that's the whole reason that I'm focused on the shorter distances, because I feel like, I'm 34, but I feel like I can run a good marathon when I'm 40. Yeah. But I'm not going to be able to run a 5k faster than I can now. Yeah. So I need to try and focus on those shorter distances as much as possible now. And then when I feel like I've got the most out of those, then I will transition up to it. But I think I said to myself, if I can get myself a free place to Manchester Marathon on a qualifying time, then I may consider doing it. But I don't know if I did do one a while back, but I got the fueling completely wrong, and then there is videos on my Instagram of what I was like on the end, and I was just tunnel vision, blacking out, barriers. I crawled over the line. It was bad, really bad. So
Which one did you do?
Manchester.
You did Manchester.
Yeah.
But when I was doing the Instagram post and went through your PBs, I thought, wow, that's great, fantastic, super. And then I got to your marathon and I thought, I'm not putting that one.
What was it?
It was 2:48,
which is a great time.
It was a 100.
So let me qualify that. By comparison to your other PBs, it's not on the same.
God, I thought he was going to say something like
4.5
8 hours or something.
But it doesn't. If you put them into a calculator, they just wouldn't match up.
That's fair.
You've got to be looking at inside 2:30.
Yeah, I'll go back to it one day, but just focus on other things for the time being.
Yeah. All I was going to say a moment ago was about your 10k.
Yeah.
The summer you had and the form you were in October. I think you were just unlucky that Trafford fell a week after Manchester Half.
Yeah.
Trafford was a good race to run a fast time.
Yeah, definitely.
But a lot of people who tried to do Manchester and Trafford, you could tell had done a half the week before.
I remember I felt amazing. I was like, I ran out maybe the first 2 miles, like I was like sub 30 pace, and then I was like, I remember thinking to myself, I'm going to have a cracker, it's going to be a great day. And then literally 30 seconds after thinking that, I was like, nah, my legs are gone. And I just slowed. I was like, oh,
it's hard to back up a half a week later with a fast 5 or 10k.
Yeah, definitely.
So, bit of a new segment.
Yeah.
I did warn you about this before. So we mentioned in the previous episode that Callum Rowlinson came up with a really good suggestion in our previous guest group, and it's called Desert Island Jog. So choose your dream run location, distance, and person to run with, dead or alive.
So in the 5 minutes I had to think about this just as I turned up. I'm very much a fair weather runner in terms of I love running in the sun, so somewhere nice and hot, but also somewhere picturesque. I mean, I do like the look of some training camps that some of the elites go on, like St. Moritz and stuff, like running around there. If it was nice and warm there, to run around like a nice big lake up in the mountains somewhere. If someone can think of a good location for where I can find that, then that'd be great. But it'd have to be Mo Farah, 100%. Just because I read his autobiography about those 2012 London Olympics when he did the 5k, 10k double, and just like the sound of the day, and just to hear about what it was like in those races. I think I'd just love to hear it firsthand from him, and then obviously to cover all the different topics of conversation that I wanted to ask him, then it'd have to be a long run. It's not going to be a short distance. It's going to be at least half marathon. Definitely.
Fair enough. So now on to the new quick fire round. So thank you to all the previous guests that fed into this. So cross country, yes or no?
Yes.
Park run, race or not a race?
Oof.
Race.
Oh, they'll be after you.
Carbons for a park run?
No.
Running any weather or head straight for the treadmill if it's icy?
Any weather.
Oh. Stretching or no stretching?
No stretching.
Gym work on Strava, yes or no?
No.
Post-run beer or post-run protein shake?
If only there was a beer flavoured protein shake. No, I do like a protein shake, but I also like a beer as well. But maybe the weekend is a different answer.
Stop your watch or not stop your watch during a run?
I'm bad for stopping watch,
Track races or no track races?
Track races.
Ice baths and saunas, yes or no?
No.
In the bin. So that's it. Thank you very much for coming on and being our first guest of the year. It's been really good to have you on.
No, thanks very much for having me. It's been great chatting to you all, and hopefully some great episodes to come in 2026.
Yeah, nice fun.
Thanks, Martin. And great year last year. Hopefully you can back it up and have an even better year this year.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I'm sure the Guinness will help. So.
Good luck.
That's it for this episode. In our next episode, we'll have a couple of Stockport Harriers who've been around the world running together and even meeting the GOAT of running in New York. Steve Brown has PBs of 20:30 for 5k, 42 minutes for 10k, 1 hour 32 for the half marathon, and 3:15 for the marathon. Sarah Brown has PBs of 5k is 20:35, 42 minutes for the 10k, half marathon is 1 hour 33, and the marathon is 3 hours and 20. So get those questions in for Steve and Sarah in the usual ways, and remember, don't let a number on a watch limit your potential.